The medical bay of the Zenithera reeked of ozone and desperation. Eleanor lay sprawled across the crystalline examination table, her iridescent skin flickering between shades of violet and ash gray. The pulse of light that normally danced beneath her dermal layer, the hallmark of Luxarian royalty, had dimmed to almost nothing. Around her, 3 Luxarian physicians worked frantically, their 6-fingered hands moving in practiced synchronization as they attempted procedures that had saved countless lives across a dozen star systems. None of it was working. Her cellular matrix is collapsing, the lead physician announced, his voice carrying the harmonic undertones of his species. The toxin has corrupted her bioluminescent network. She has minutes, perhaps less. Jasper stood at the doorway, his human frame seeming almost crude compared to the elegant alien forms surrounding the princess. He'd been ordered to wait outside, but the sound of failing equipment and desperate voices had drawn him in. His fingers clenched and unclenched at his sides, a nervous habit from his days in the Earth Defense Corps. "Let me try," he said. Every head in the room turned toward him. The physician's multifaceted eyes reflected confusion and something close to disdain. Humans were the newest members of the Galactic Coalition, barely a century into their membership. They had no advanced healing technology, no genetic modifications that granted them medical superiority. They were strong, yes, and remarkably adaptable, but healers? Never. Human. This is beyond your primitive, the lead physician began. Let him try. The voice was barely a whisper, but it carried authority. Eleanor's eyes, those stunning orbs of liquid silver, had opened halfway. What? Have I to lose? Jasper didn't wait for further permission. He moved to Eleanor's side, ignoring the physicians who reluctantly stepped back. He'd carried her from the ambush site, her blood, luminous and warm, staining his uniform as the assassin's poison worked through her system. During that desperate sprint to the ship, he'd felt something, a warmth in his hands, a tingling sensation he couldn't explain. He placed his palms on either side of the wound in her abdomen, where the poisoned blade had struck. Her skin was cool, too cool, and the light beneath had almost extinguished entirely. "What are you doing?" one physician demanded. "You'll introduce contaminants." The protest died as Eleanor's skin began to glow. It started as a faint shimmer beneath Jasper's palms, spreading outward in ripples of gold and white. The physicians gasped in their harmonic chorus as the princess's dermal bioluminescence reignited, not in its usual violet hue, but in the warm golden tones of a Terran sunset. Jasper felt it flowing through him. Not his strength exactly, but something deeper. Something that had always been there but never awakened. His hands grew warm, then hot, but not painfully so. Energy pulsed from his core down his arms and into Eleanor's dying body. The wound began to close. "Impossible," breathed the lead physician, his translator barely able to convey his shock. "Humans don't possess regenerative projection. No species in the Coalition does. Not without technological assistance," but Jasper wasn't listening. His entire focus was on Eleanor, on the feeling of her cells responding to his touch, reorganizing, healing. He could sense the poison being broken down, neutralized by something his body produced naturally, something that had never mattered on Earth, where humans healed only themselves, slowly and imperfectly. Eleanor's eyes widened fully, the silver brightening to mirror polished clarity. Her hand, trembling, rose to cover one of his. "You're saving me," she whispered. "But how?" "I don't know," Jasper admitted, his voice strained with effort. "I just know I can't let you die." Minutes passed, though they felt like hours. The golden light grew more intense, filling the medical bay until the physicians had to shield their eyes. Eleanor's vitals, displayed on holographic monitors, climbed from critical to stable to optimal. The wound sealed completely, leaving only the faintest silvery scar, a marking that in Luxarian culture signified survival against impossible odds. Finally, Jasper lifted his hands. The light faded and he stumbled backward, suddenly exhausted. 2 physicians caught him before he could fall. "Remarkable," the lead physician muttered, scanning Eleanor with instruments that chimed with approval. "Complete cellular regeneration. The toxin is gone. Her bioluminescent network is fully restored." He turned to Jasper with something approaching reverence. "Human, what you've done shouldn't be possible." Eleanor sat up, her movements graceful and strong. She looked at her hands, flexing her fingers as light danced beneath her skin in patterns more vibrant than before. Then her gaze found Jasper, who was being helped into a chair, pale and shaking but smiling. "In all the archives of the Coalition," she said slowly, "there are legends. Ancient texts speak of a species yet to join the stars, beings whose greatest power wasn't in their weapons or their ships, but in their capacity to heal what others had given up as lost." She slid from the examination table, moving to kneel before Jasper. "The legends called them the Menders. We thought they were myth." Jasper laughed weakly. "We just call ourselves stubborn." But as he looked around the medical bay, at the physicians examining their instruments in confusion, at Eleanor alive and whole when moments ago she'd been beyond saving, he realized the truth. Humanity had evolved in isolation, their bodies adapting to heal not just themselves but others, a gift that had remained latent until they'd finally reached the stars and encountered species whose biology could respond to that dormant power. "The assassins will come again," Eleanor said softly, her hand still holding his. "My position makes me a target." Jasper met her silver eyes and found his strength returning. "Then I'll be there to hold you up every time they try to bring you down." Outside the viewport, stars wheeled past in their eternal dance. The Coalition had gained more than they knew when humanity joined them. And in a medical bay aboard the Zenithara, a princess and a soldier began to understand that sometimes the greatest power wasn't the ability to destroy, but the courage to heal.